Hey guys, welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. As promised, I am here doing an episode here for you. My name is Ryan. We are the official Dallas Stars podcast of THPN. Please go and use the promo code THPN the next time you are there using the services for Game Time and for DraftKings Sportsbook. They've been with us for a while now. We really appreciate everything that they do for us. So, anyways, this felt really weird. I got to be honest. Uh, I'm nuts. It is 1:42 in the morning at the time I'm recording this, but uh, there was a lot going on today, and between my schedule, Chris's schedule, being at the Texas Stars game, which you should go and read his story about the 5-0 win for the Texas Stars over the Tucson Roadrunners on 100 Degree Hockey. Go and read that on the 100 Degree Hockey website. And then also with James with his work schedule today, it was just a little hard to get all three of us together. And then I was actually coming back from the game on Friday between the Texas Stars and the Tucson Roadrunners. So that's why there was no live show for the game today. However, I was able to watch the game later. It was very exciting. Of course, the one game where it's probably one of the more exciting ones, considering it's an OT thriller and it's a win for the Dallas Stars. Of course, that's the one that we miss out on. But anyways, I'm here with you now, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you my thoughts on this game and kind of breaking down this game as we go forward. Well, first off, I was very pleased with the win today. I wasn't necessarily pleased with how we played. I actually went and looked at the deserve to win meter on moneypuck.com, and this is one of the few games where the Stars did not actually get a majority of the percentage. I think they only had 46% of the time if they play that same way out of 100 scenarios where they actually win this game. So I don't know exactly what it was, to be honest with you. And I was kind of watching the game a little bit, but I was just so tired. I was trying to take my take a break after getting home. I didn't get home until literally about 6:30, 30 minutes before the game started. And I just kind of took a step back, and I was hanging out with my family and stuff like that. But from I was kind of keeping track of it as it was going live. But during the third period, I saw the number of shots that Utah was recording, and I was thinking, oh boy, they're really starting to push it on. I didn't really get that watching the third period, if I'm being totally honest. I thought they obviously had more shots because that's what happened in the game. But it was almost like the first half of the game belonged to the Stars, and I thought the Stars played a little bit better in the first half. And then I thought Utah played a lot better in the second half. So it's kind of what I'm pinning it down to at this point. I think both teams were just kind of tired. Like they mentioned in the broadcast, I think at the end of the second period, the Stars have played the most home games of any team in the NHL other than the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they're fixing to head out on a 5-game road trip here. So probably will be nice for them to get away from American Airlines Center for a little while, kind of improve on that road record that needs to be better. The home record has been excellent all year. The road record has gotten a little bit better, but it's going to be nice to see it get a little bit better here anyways. Okay. So, right off the bat, a couple of storylines, not much other than this is just the third meeting of the season between these two teams. They will not see each other again until April 12th when the Stars will face off against them again. And that is the home closer, I guess. Finale. Finale would be a better word. Home finale for the Dallas Stars for the regular season. And hopefully we're just talking about, who are they going to play against in the playoffs at that point. But anyway, this is the third or the fourth meeting. Stars have won the other two, but I mean, Utah played really well in those other two games that the Stars played, especially in the first one. It was a 2-1 win for the Stars, but Casey DeSmith stood on his head for that one. Otter actually got the start here today. I was kind of halfway joking, thinking that DeSmith was going to get the start again just because he's played really well against Utah so far this season. But nonetheless, Oettinger had a really good game here tonight, especially that huge save that he had on, I believe it was Lawson Krause in overtime. He was a big reason why the Stars won tonight, especially as the game kind of went on. The second half of the game again, really, really, really tough game for him. And it was not an easy welcome for him to the game either, as the very first stop he made, let's see, it was, no, that's not correct. Where is it? Oh, it's Ian Cole, 14:25. So it was over 5 minutes into the period. Otter saw nothing, and then all of a sudden, Ian Cole has this huge chance. It was a really good save by him. But before that, the previous 5 minutes were really, really good for the Stars. At 18 minutes remaining, Harley had a shot that was deflected in the high slot. 16:35. Jamie Benn just he got it started for the Dallas Stars for a period of about 2 to 3 minutes there. First, he has the backhand chance off the rush. Then he gets a big hit, and then he would have a chance. He would have numerous chances later on, but Johnson would have a chance at 16:15. Dodonov would miss a pass when he was backdoor, and it was a great pass by Dumba there on that particular play. A Harley goes one timer, it goes out of play, but they looked good starting off. They really did. This is another good start for the Dallas Stars. At 11:34, Miro would have a point shot. It was looking for tips, and then Miro actually also had a good hit, so a little physicality for Miro Heiskanen. At the 11-minute mark, Razor says that the Stars D-men are getting shots through from the point and not allowing any in their own zone. So I think the shots at that point were like 6-1 or 7-1. It would eventually end up kind of evening out as the period went along. But it was a very good job by the Stars D-men at that point. Again, at 10:21, Ben, another rush chance going from backhand to forehand. So the first chance he had earlier on, it was on his backhand. This time he gets it to his forehand. He's not able to take advantage of it. And then it goes to break. They highlight Ben coming back from break, the broadcast does. And they mention he's already got half the shots. The Stars have 6 shots at this point, and Ben has half of them. I mean, how many times have I said this? At 9:54, it was a really good play by Esa Lindell. It's a really good D play. And then there was a really big hit from McBain, who I believe is 6'4", 6'5", and he hits Labushkin. At 8:19, Bork misses the net going stick side. And then we see another shift of Ben, Johnston, and Duchesne. And I just kind of wrote in my notes here. That line is a ton of fun to watch. It really is. They're the most exciting line for the Dallas Stars, if we're being honest right now. We didn't see a whole lot of Hintz and Robo today. Obviously, Robertson gets the chance in overtime, and we saw glimpses of Hintz's speed. There was probably about 2 or 3 times I can think of off the top of my head that we saw that speed. But really, that line is the most exciting, at least for me as a fan watching in this game here today. And then they started to push back. Utah Hockey Club does a little bit. Schmaltz, he has a shot that's saved by Otter. SM makes another good defensive play at 6:07. Gunther would have a chance. Johnston point blank in front of Vejmelka. It was kind of an awkward play. There was no one around Johnston to kind of push him away from Vejmelka, but he's not able to get a high quality chance there. Excuse me. And then at 3:05, Logan Cooley, man, that guy is scary. He's going to be a huge star for years to come for the Utah Hockey Club. He would have a forehand chance, and it looked like he was trying to go 5-hole on that particular chance. So going into the first intermission, it was 0-0. There was not much I saw out of that period that I disliked, but there were some opportunities that I wish the Stars had taken advantage of. And what I do want to talk about, one of the big talking points after the game was kind of Bork and Stankoven both just being Stankoven specifically just being snake big. I think he's at 20 games or 21 games without a goal. He hasn't scored since the game against the Boston Bruins, if I remember correctly, hearing that on the broadcast. Or it might have been Owen on DLLS, but either way, he's been snake bit, and Bork, obviously that's kind of his game, is on the offensive side. He kind of expects himself to contribute offensively, and neither one of these guys we've seen kind of contribute a whole lot this year. Bork has a little bit more of an excuse than Stankoven does, but still you have to remember that both of these guys are rookies. Like I know Stankoven had 24 games in the regular season last year, but they're still trying to figure their way out. And excuse me. The nice thing is, though, is that it's not really affecting them right now. The Stars, the whole team front right now. They've got enough guys who are able to score goals right now, and they're very top heavy right now, if that makes any sense. All their best players are kind of on their top two lines. They're not really spreading out any of the scoring between all four lines, which is normally what Pete DeBoer likes to do, but it just wasn't working. So they throw Ben together with Johnston and Duchesne, and then they put Dodonov up on the top line with Hintz and Robo. And for the past week and a half, it's really, really worked. On to the second period here. Really early on, 16 seconds in, Dallas would take the 1-0 lead from Jamie Benn, of course. He scores from the slot, and it was just under the blocker. It looked like the blocker of Vejmelka, he was trying to lift his arm up because he thought it was going higher. It didn't. Ben's shot goes through, and it was a really great pass by Johnston from behind the net. But then about a minute later, Matias Michelli would score all alone on the other side of Dallas's zone. He hadn't scored in 23 games. Maybe that's the magic number for Logan Stankoven too. And this is what I think it was Razor. Razor called it a response goal. And they've had a lot of issues this year, the Stars have had, with allowing other teams to score a goal almost immediately or like within 1 or 2 or 3 minutes of them scoring a goal. And kind of what that does, it really screws up the momentum for your team when that happens. And we haven't just seen that with just one goal sometimes. Sometimes we've seen that come in bunches of goals against the Dallas Stars. So that's been really, 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 really frustrating. And it's hopefully something that the Stars can fix moving forward. 1736, Oscar Back, who has been really good. He's just been excellent. He throws a backhand on net, and it was kind of a tricky save after it slightly went off Oli Mata. Mata had a really rough night tonight, and he got caught out of defensive positioning quite a bit for the Utah Hockey Club. Numerous times. At 14:08, Nick Bukestad would have a chance in tight on the backhand. 12:25, Nils Lundqvist, who I thought was really good in the game here tonight, as always. He's been really good this season. He was a trailer off the rush. He just couldn't get a shot off. I think he was like the fourth guy in, but he's at least reading plays and getting there. He just got to get more shots off, and maybe he can start to get seen more on the score sheet. At 11:58, though, there's a huge save by Oettinger on Logan Cooley, and it was Logan Stankoven who turned the puck over in the Dallas zone. So Logan is just really, really snake bit right now. He's really gripping that stick too much right now. At 10:34, Ben would have a chance that would be blocked by Ian Cole. Ian Cole, again, probably had a pretty good game. And I mean, that was destined for the back of the net from at least the television camera angle. It looked like that had been able, sorry, it's hard to say, to get the shot off there. That would have been a really good opportunity for the Stars, and I don't think Vejmelka would have been able to get over there. At 9:45, Otter would make a save off of the Utah Hockey Club rush chance, and then Oscar Beck, he would get a goal somehow. I called it a lucky goal, and then later on in the broadcast, Razor's like, some would call that a lucky goal, but that's not a lucky goal. That's not a lucky goal at all. That is a what did he say? I wrote it down. A fortunate goal. Fortunate goal. So he scores, and it bounced off of 3 different players after Nils Lundqvist had the initial shot. First, it goes off of Arttu Huru. Then it goes off of Beck. And then it goes off of, I believe, Oli Mata. But I don't remember who the Utah hockey player was. But nonetheless, Beck gets a goal. When you throw it at the net, good things happen. Arttu Huru also notably gets his first NHL point. He gets an assist on that particular goal. And the Stars go up 2-1 at that point. And again, then the Utah Hockey Club looks to respond. First, it's Clayton Keller. I wish I had that guy on our team. He has a wraparound, and Otter actually had to look behind him to make sure that it didn't go into the net. And then it's another response goal. Literally about maybe a minute and a half after the Beck goal, Matias Michelli would score after a Kerfoot wraparound attempt falls off of his stick. So Kerfoot, he takes it on I think he's a lefty. He tries to go around the net. The puck kind of slides off his stick, And then Matias Michelli happens to be right there. And I don't even think he elevated it at all. He just kind of slid it in past Otter's right pad and just goes into the net. So, they didn't look very interested on the play. The Stars didn't on that particular goal. And it was a little frustrating to see that. But again, the big thing is it's just another response goal, and the Stars have got to stop doing this kind of thing. They've got to respond better after they score a goal. They got to keep the momentum rolling for them, and they got to make their opponent be demoralized going forward. And so that's a frustrating thing, that the Stars continue to allow their opponents back into games, whether it's a 2-goal lead and they allow their opponents to get back in, or they go up a goal and then their opponents come back and tie it. And it happened twice in this game today. However, moving on, Johnson would fire it wide after a Utah turnover by Olli Maatta. So again, there's Olli Maatta. And by the way, this is not just because it's Johnston, but there were several attempts today where the Stars had turnovers. Not they had turnovers, but Utah had turnovers, and they looked to try and go and get a scoring chance, a shot off or something, and they weren't able to do it. It was Bork, it was Stankoven, it was Johnston. I think it was even Duchesne at one point. He tried to pass it off. I'm sure we'll get to that here in the third in just a second, but that's something that you got to take more advantage of. And now that the Stars are starting to play a little bit better, they're starting to be a little bit more consistent. They've got to find ways to execute on those chances, on those turnovers. That's what a lot of teams do in the NHL nowadays. Anyways, moving on from that, at 3:14 remaining, Stenlund has a chance after Dallas turnover by Harley, and Dumba doesn't stop the centering pass. We'll get to that here in just a second, the Harley-Dumba pairing. At 2:04, Hintz would have a chance on the backhand using his speed. He tried to go 5-hole. That was a really good save by Vejmelka. At 1:05, Lyubushkin, who we don't see a lot of in my notes just because he plays really well defensively. He has a shot at the top of the faceoff circle, and it all started with a really nifty pass by Duchesne to set it up. Yes, I said nifty. I'm a millennial. Get over it. So at the end of the second period, it is tied 2-2. I thought the Stars had good moments. I thought that the Utah Hockey Club had good moments, but I thought Utah was really starting to push it more towards the 10 to about the 4-minute mark of the second period. And then the Stars had a couple of chances to kind of end the period there. But again, I'll say it one more time just to, for lack of being a parrot, I guess, and just repeating myself, but the response goals have got to stop. The Stars have got to find a way to extend leads sooner. Yes, they extended their lead in the game against Ottawa, but still, it was still really late when they extended it, and they're kind of playing with fire a little bit and allowing teams to kind of just hang around. So they've got to be the bigger team, like I hope they are. I've adjusted I don't want to say I've adjusted my expectations for, well, no, I have. I've adjusted my expectations for this team. But if they want to be a higher playoff team and guarantee themselves a spot without having to worry about teams underneath them losing or whatever, then they've got to make sure that they go out and not allow response goals and to get the insurance markers so that they allow themselves to make mistakes. And we've seen that a couple of times where just a couple of mistakes have kind of screwed the Stars over in games this season. So anyways, going into the third period, I won't say it again, but the broadcast highlights the whole response goals thing. 1935, Ben looking for Johnston back door. So again, that line continuing to look dangerous. At 1847, Razor says it is a puck rattling night, and that would continue with numerous things going on. At 1840, Ian Cole with a big hit on Beck at the half wall in the Dallas zone. So Beck was not paying attention. Ian Cole took advantage of that. At 1756, Otter mishandles the puck, which he doesn't normally do. So that could have been a very bad thing. and it ended up being in the equipment of one of the Utah Hockey Club players. I thought it was kind of funny, and both Josh and Razor were chuckling at that fact. Okay, this is the 2-on-1 I was talking about earlier with Duchesne. 17-26, Duchesne chooses to pass instead of shoot on a Dallas 2-on-1, and I had like a paragraph of notes after that. He needs to shoot there. Ben was right there with him, and Sergachev broke up the pass. It was a good play by Sergachev, so I wanted to give him props for that. Yes, Ben has been really good, and he's been shooting a lot lately. But Duchesne, you've got a good shot too, man. You got to take the shot there, and that's another chance where the Stars force a turnover or they're on the rush and they don't even get a scoring chance off of it. It doesn't even have to be a high danger scoring chance, but that they're just no shot. There's nothing. At 13:50, there's a good chunk of time between that note from the Duchesne rush to this next one. Clayton Keller would have a shot after Dallas can't get it out, and then they go to break. And then as they're coming back from the break, broadcast would highlight Ben's 9 points in the last 7 games, and I'm glad that they're really kind of talking about how good he's been lately. Jamie Benn deserves all the credit in the world this year. He has extremely quietly been almost a point per game player for the Stars this year. And I keep saying this stat because it just shows how important he is and how good he's been. And the key word in any sport is consistency, right? Jamie Benn right now is the dictionary definition of consistency right now. In the last 20 games, I think, since December 1st, there have only been 4 games where he hasn't had a point. And yeah, it's normally only been like 1 or whatever, but dude, has he been really good. Like, very quietly has been very good. And it doesn't matter who he plays with, honestly. Like, whether he's playing with Stankoven or whether he's playing with Johnston, or he's elevated in the lineup right now. I was listening to DLLS post game, and they were talking about how he's been playing, a lot more minutes lately. Actually, that might have been during the broadcast on Victory Plus. Regardless, it doesn't matter. But he's been playing a lot more minutes lately. So he deserves all the credit in the world. He deserves all of the accolades right now. He is probably the Stars MVP of the season right now, up there with Jake Oettinger, in my opinion. Like, he has been so consistent with his points. He's been really good. And he's doing this all at, he's almost in his mid-30s. So, again, he's just been so good for the Stars this year. Moving on. Sorry, I'll end my little rant. At 12:23, Harley would fly by. The puck would bounce around, and it was a really hard save for Vejmelka to make. It was kind of just up in the air, and I'm not sure how Harley got it up in the air or how it got towards Vejmelka, but it did. And then the only penalty kill of the evening, and it's been kind of nice to not have to talk about the special teams the last 2 games, because there haven't really been any the last 2 games. But this is the only power play of the game for either team. It goes to the Utah Hockey Club. Hintz would go off for tripping Vejmelka, and it was just a drive-by. It wasn't on purpose. It was not done maliciously. It was just Hintz his skates kind of collided with Vejmelka's skates through Vejmelka's crease as he was skating by. But anyway, Dallas penalty kill, 24 for the last 25 in the last 11 games played. They're at 96%. They're one of the best in the NHL. I think they're second in the NHL, and they had the best home penalty kill. So that is one thing we have not had to complain about this year on the special teams side. At 9:55, this was basically the only chance that I wrote down for the Utah Hockey Club during that power play. It was Dylan Guenther. The penalty kill really didn't want to give up that particular shot, says Razor. And he also says, remember that save. And that save was huge by Oettinger for the Dallas Stars. They would kill it off, and they would move on with their lives. At 8:10, a puck would bounce off the top of Ottinger's net as it comes off of the glass. And I think it also bounced off of Ottinger's back as well. So a little bit of nervousness, as this Stars fan here was worried about it. Miro would try to get the puck to Stankoven off the rush, but it was tipped away by Utah. So again, Stankoven just not getting lucky. Eventually it will come for him. It really will. I really believe that. At 6:25, O'Brien would have a shot off the rush, so a good chance for him. Kesselring would have a shot, and there was a rebound chance off of his original shot, and it all started with a Dallas turnover in the neutral zone. So Dallas has been a lot better the last week and a half about if they do allow these kind of turnovers in the neutral zone or in their own zone or at like the opposing team's blue line. They're normally pretty good about making sure that they mop up their mistakes. But in that case, not that time. And then Steele, within a minute, 2 big chances. The first one at 4:49, the second one at 4:03. And in between was actually a TV timeout. And so, I mean, I believe it was Pete DeBoer left him out there because he was like, I want more of that. So Steele got rewarded with an extra shift there. And I actually didn't even notice this as I was watching the third period, but I don't remember where I heard it from. It was either DLS. It had to have been DLS because it was after the post game when I realized it. But R2 Huru and Maverick Bork did not play very much in the third period. I don't have the stats here in front of me, but they're playing with a shortened bench, and that's not good for Dallas because that's not the way they play, and that's not the way they were put together by Jim Nill. And I understand they've got some injuries on the forward front, especially with Mason Marchment and Tyler Seguin being out, but you got to be able to roll 4 lines if you're the way that Pete's system work, Pete DeBoer systems work. At 32 seconds, Johnson couldn't do anything with the Utah turnover in their own zone. And again, that's I feel like I'm a parrot here saying the same things, but it's another turnover that Dallas forces that they're not able to do anything with it. So just not really frustrated, but like kind of shrugging my shoulders and being like, really? Like you can't do more with that? Overtime, we go. First thing I noticed is that the American Airlines Center is just raucous and just bombastic, pandemonium, whatever big fancy word you want to insert there. It was loud to start overtime, and they were excited. And I believe this is only the 3rd or 4th overtime we've seen this season for the Dallas Stars. So very strange. Like normally we have a lot of overtimes in Dallas Stars hockey in the regular season, but we haven't had much this season. I believe we won 1-2 and lost 1, or 1-3 and lost 1, something like that. Anyways, it was really exciting. That was probably the most fun I've had watching Stars hockey in an overtime this season. Because obviously the last one was against Minnesota, and that ended in less than a minute. So first it was Clayton Keller at 4:33, and it was a chance that just missed. And it was the perfect angle for the television audience to see. And it was going from left to right, and it like you could see it just whiz by just by the post. And I was like, ooh, that was really close. At 3:13, this is probably the biggest chance other than the goal. My goodness, what a chance for Robo. Had a breakaway, and he sort of kind of had Vejmelka beat, if we're being honest there. So it was a great play by Robo, just couldn't quite get it through. And then on the ensuing rush, right after Robo's chance is saved, Utah would go 3-on-1, Lawson Krause with the shot, and then Oettinger, just huge with the save there. I believe it was with the glove. And very quickly, Oettinger just, very aware, offensive awareness for a goalie. Who would have thought that? Quickly gets the puck out. He gets it to the Stankoven. And this just shows you right here, and a lot of people have been rightly pointing this out, that Stankoven is just he feels, how do I put this? You could see how much and how badly he wants to score a goal with watching how he fumbled the puck on that rush. I believe it was almost a 2-on-0. It was him and Ben, I believe. And he just fumbled the puck. It was bouncing a little bit, couldn't really control it. And it just, nothing comes of it. So, and that was really, it wasn't even frustrating to watch. It was sad to watch because I was like, oh, this could be it. This could be it. This could be his opportunity to get back in the goal column. and do it in a big way. And he just fumbles the puck. So again, eventually he will get one. He's playing okay. He will get back on the score sheet here soon. And then Harley sends the American Airlines Center into absolute abrupt pandemonium by scoring the goal. He gets the rebound after Duchesne takes it around the defender and takes it to the net. And I don't think I have heard the American Airlines Center that loud this season. And that was something that, other people commented about. And I've been at the American Airlines Center quite a bit this year. And even watching it on TV, I can kind of, compare it. And that is probably by far the loudest I've heard the American Airlines Center this season. So it's very exciting, very good game to watch. From a coach's standpoint, you probably want a little bit more out of your players. But again, if you're a fan, all you really care about is the results, and the results are really the ones that matter. Stars get the 3-2 win thanks to Harley's overtime game winner. That is all of the notes that I have. I've gone into a lot of side tangents here, so I won't do so too much here. Biggest winner and biggest loser here for me. The biggest loser for me is for Logan Stankoven. I just he will eventually get one. I felt so bad watching him on that rush chance in overtime, thinking that he was going to be able to do it, and he just wasn't. It really, it's just going to take one, and then he's just going to explode, right? I don't know why I get that feeling. It's just a feeling. I hope he gets it here soon. And, an honorable mention to the Harley Dumba defensive pairing. That's not really working out for me very much. And I know a lot of other people have kind of talked about it as well. I thought the problem is what do you do, right? Because the Miro and Lyubushkin pairing is actually working out really well, which again, I've talked about quite a bit how I thought Lyubushkin would be a decent pairing up there next to Harley, and he has been. He's been pretty good for the most part. And then that pairing of Lindell and Lundqvist has been really good as well. And then that kind of leaves you with the two guys that you got with Harley and Dumba, and that pairing is just not working out. It's just not. But it's not like you can take Lundqvist and put him with. I mean, yeah, like really, what are you supposed to do? You could do Miro and trying to keep in mind that you want to keep it with the left-right combos, right? All the lefties on the left side, all the righties on the right side. That was the whole point of going out and getting Dumba and Lyubushkin and retaining Nils Lundqvist, despite him not getting even a qualifying offer. That's why you kept all those three players or went out and got them, was to be able to have that lefty righty combo. There's not much you can do. So basically, it's kind of Harley and Dumba kind of got to figure it out. And they were I don't want to say they were the biggest defensive deficiency tonight, but they kind of were, if we're being totally honest here. And then for me, the biggest winner here tonight, obviously, I guess I will give it to Harley for the game winner. But I think the real one's got to be Oettinger here. In the third period, he makes that really, really big save where Razor says, "Remember that save?" And then he makes a couple more towards the end of the third period as that period's going on, and then he makes that giant save on Lawson Cross on that 3-on-1. I mean, without that save, they can't go the other direction. Duchesne and Harley can't and get the game winner. So he deserves a lot for what he did. So I am so sorry. I'm yawning so much. But that's going to do it here for me this evening. Thank you guys so much for listening tonight. I promise I will get back on live in the next game, which I believe is going to be on Tuesday. Stars are going to be off on Sunday and on Monday. And then they will be back on the road against the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. I believe the game starts at 6 or 6:30, so a little bit earlier than normal. So make sure you set your clocks and make sure that you are aware. And we will be back with you again on that point. Alongside nobody else here this evening, this morning, whatever it is. My name is Ryan. This has been Starcastic Remarks. Thank you to our sponsors, DraftKings and Game Time. If you liked what you heard here today, please consider leaving us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. If you're watching here on YouTube, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It's the best way to help us grow on here. As always, social media, follow us at Sarcastic R, basically anywhere and everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. And then starcasticremarks.com is the website. Go and check out my blog post about Ryan O'Reilly, why I think he would be a good fit for the Dallas Stars. And I'm working on a follow-up article as to potential trade proposals and what the Stars might have to give up for a Ryan O'Reilly type player. I'm really bullish on him. I have no idea if he's even available. I don't know if Nashville even wants to trade him, but I really want to see him in a Dallas Star uniform. He makes so much sense for what this team needs right now. Even when Mason Marchman and Tyler Seguin come back, he would be an excellent addition to that forward group. Anyways, signing off. This is Ryan. This has been Starcastic Remarks. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. And since Chris is not here to say it here for this evening, I will go ahead and say it. We pulled the tails of the Coyotes, even though they're not the Coyotes anymore. GG, boys.